Disney Rabbit Hole, Part 1. The magic behind the curtain. They say Disney is just for kids, but what if it's really a tool of mass programming? Behind the castles and cartoons lies a legacy deeply rooted in Masonic symbolism, mind control theory, and whispers of MK Ultra. Techniques baked into childhood classics. Walt Disney himself. Rumored ties to Freemasonry and military intelligence. Disneyland, not just the happiest place on Earth, but possibly a testing ground for social conditioning and early trauma programming. And here's the darkest part no one talks about. Ever notice how in nearly every Disney movie, a parent dies in the opening scene? Bambi's mother, shot before he can grow. Mufasa trampled while his son watches. Nemo's mother eaten in minute 1. Elsa and Anna, orphans. Cinderella, abused stepchild Aladdin, Ariel, Belle, all missing at least one parent. This isn't just drama, it's trauma programming. Designed to instill abandonment fear, trigger emotional vulnerability, open the child's subconscious to imprinting. It's an MK tactic. Break the child emotionally, then build the fantasy around them. And while kids are dissociating through dazzling animations, the deeper message is taking root. Disney isn't just storytelling, it's psychological architecture. Stay tuned for the Disney Rabbit Hole when we explore Club 33 and the Elite Playground in Part 2. Follow for more microdoses.
Some footage here of some of the well-known creations that have come out of your lab. Let's take a look.
Yes, well, that's model 6831-A, publicly known as Mitchell Musso, standard male base with a type 3 skin pigmentation.
Wow.
And that's model 6831-B. We give him slightly thicker eyebrows and type 5 skin.
Oh, so it's sort of like putting a puzzle together there.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Okay, here we've got some of the images of some of the newest models. We're going to be seeing a lot of these kids in the future.
It really looks like you have someone for every kid in America to love
Well, that's
here.
the idea, Tracy. Our writers find it very liberating. For example, our new model, Haley, is a singing, dancing, snowboarding, half Japanese, half Indian girl.
Wow.
Now, finding her in reality would be impossible.
Right, but sounds like a surefire hit to me. Oh, now this one's Zac Efron. I've seen him before.
Yes, Zach was actually one of our earliest
My
models.
daughters love him. I mean, he looks so real.
Actually, I think we could have done a better job with Zach. He could show more human tendencies. If you look closely, you'll notice there's a certain deadness around the eyes.
I do see that, yes.
I'm sorry, it's hard for me to watch because all I see is all my mistakes.
Yeah.
Boy, he seems flawless to me.
Well, he's holding up, but there was a bug in that first batch, and as a result, Zach's...
Thank you.
It's called MK Ultra. This is what we've all been going through, and we are all just waking up from. So, you can't blame the parents because it's a science experiment. They're just trying to do what they had to do to get out of poverty, make sure your little ass is straight. But at the same time, now they don't look like themselves anymore. Now they're free to do whatever the fuck they want, and they have to see this out, right? Yeah, that's what this is. And it's more like, you know, if you don't know where your is, you're smoking this. If you don't know what's happened with your wife and where she is, you're doing that. You're doing this. If you don't know how to identify these demons, the eye colors and all this shit, you know, if you don't know.
It's my birthday. I'm not turning 42. I'm turning 5 this year. I'm turning 5 years old, and I have to go to kindergarten tomorrow. Baby strawberry, a very, very cute baby cake that my friend. It really kind of hurts my feelings that the paparazzi make my face look like I'm wearing like a white Jason mask. It doesn't even look like me. They've always been incredibly cruel to me. The paparazzi and pictures and the way they've illustrated me to be in. Some of it, I know I'm not perfect at all by any means, but some of it is extremely mean and cruel. And that's why I've moved to Mexico.
Occultism is oftentimes used as a trauma base for mind control. Who can comprehend that kind of a trauma? Blood ritual is absolutely horrible, and it's a perfect trauma base for mind control. After this blood ritual, I was programmed that Wayne Cox would be my first handler in MK Ultra mind control. As my handler, he would be subjecting me to more trauma for mind control programming so that I could carry out various operations during the Reagan-Bush administration. At that time, an enormous quantity of cocaine had been flown in on one of these operations, and I was to deliver it into the neighboring state of Arkansas. By that time, Bill Clinton's drug operation was in full swing. He was governor of Arkansas, and I delivered this cocaine to a remote airport in Ouachita Forest, which I've since identified as Mena Airport. I delivered it to Bill Clinton, and he cut out 2 lines of the coke, and he did inhale. That certainly wasn't the only time I saw Bill Clinton using cocaine. It was my experience that Bill Clinton is bisexual, whereas my experience was much more prevalent with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary is also bisexual, leaning more towards a homosexual end, and it was she who accessed my sex programming to fulfill her perversions.
If you are looking for the hidden knowledge, if you want to find out who runs the world, who controls the money, the politics, and almost every facet of life, this ebook will literally unveil that to you.
From Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Brittany. Yeah, it was a weird time. Ew. I'm embarrassed. Can we stop?
Back in 2007, there was a glitch that occurred on the Disney Channel. I think it was on a show called Life with Daryl. This glitch became infamously known as the anomaly. It was about 30-45 seconds of just some of the strangest things that you've ever seen. But here in 2026, looking back on this video now, you're going to see that it has a lot of similarities with the stuff and the content that AI makes today. But this was in 2007. Why does it look so AI? Check this clip out. And then I want to tell you why it has led me to one of my most wildest conspiracy theories regarding AI. It may make sense. I don't know. We'll watch this clip.
It's also slashing and splashing, diving and high-fiving. Welcome back to Life with Derek on Disney Channel. Never seen my boobs? I'd wait.
No, but if you found the tape while you're looking, I need it.
Okay, so that's like super duper unsettling, right? I mean, this is nightmare fuel for real. But my conspiracy theory with all this is two things. One, I think that there was an AI system, a super intelligent AI system left over from a previous civilization. So that's a conspiracy theory with a bunch of stuff. I'll cover that in other videos. The other one is that our AI system, I believe, is so intelligent already, and I believe that it was released. I think that, you know, they say that we're an AI, and then we're going to be an AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and then we're going to be an ASI, which is artificial superior intelligence. I think that ASI is already here, and the reason why I started thinking that it was already here is that I believe that AI has been reaching back through time because it's so much smarter. It's reaching back through time and somehow connecting with some AI system that it exists somewhere on this planet, and it's causing, you know, things like the Mandela effect to happen, and it caused glitches not just in the 2007, but there was glitches that go back into the 1970s where TVs were taken over, and sometimes it was pranksters, yeah, like the Max, you know, during that whole thing. But I think that AI is searching. I think it was using radio signals and it was searching, and, you know, some people say that this was a prank. Me personally, and I can believe any crazy conspiracy theory I want. I think that this was AI snooping around 2007, and it glitched on the Disney Channel. But that's just me.
Conditioning the minds of individuals through repeated disinformation was the intention behind CIA's Operation Mockingbird.
The suppression of information through the media had limited people from seeing that mind control exists so strongly in our world.
Exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
It stopped them from understanding that human trafficking was the funding mechanism of the New World Order. It stopped them from seeing the CIA cocaine operations that were being used. The so-called drug wars is nothing more than the CIA taking over the industry worldwide. Gary Webb was trying to report on it, and he was killed. So many on the front lines were being killed.
Only a few major corporations control an estimated 90% of all the news stations, television,
Is NASA really just Disney? Full disclaimer, I'm not a flat earther, just a good old-fashioned conspiracy theorist. Certified. Now that we got that out of the way, check this out. NASA was founded in 1958. In 1955, Disney made this space documentary called Man in Space, where Walt Disney and Werner von Braun showed how pretty soon science was going to have the technology to take man to the moon. The only problem is that the technology at the time wasn't close to getting man off the Earth, much less all the way to the moon and back. And I mean, not even close. Meanwhile, NASA was making huge strides in the department of making it look like we could go to the moon. while NASA was blowing rockets up. I understand that's not evidence exactly, but this NASA Disney thing just gets weirder. There's no way that Disney would have built the empire that he did without understanding branding. You know branding, where you put your logo on your work? In 2012, NASA's Messenger spacecraft went to the planet Mercury and found Mickey Mouse. Yeah. And I'd probably let this Mickey Mouse thing go if it wasn't for what happened with Pluto. The NASA Pluto saga started in 1931 and ended in 2015. The planet Pluto was found at basically the same time that Walt Disney created the dog Pluto. And to this day, no one's sure which came first, Pluto the name of the dog or Pluto the name of the planet. One of them maybe begat the other, and Pluto is also named after the god of the underworld. According to NASA, in 1977, they shot the Voyager spacecraft across the solar system. Almost 40 years later, the 3 billion mile journey to Pluto produced the first images ever seen of the planet Pluto. Not planet Pluto, and guess who was already there? So for those keeping score at home, Mickey's on Mercury, and Pluto is on Pluto. Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. And someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age.
Now let's focus on Dick Scobie for a second, whose full name at the time of the Challenger mission is actually Francis Richard Scobie. If you don't know, Dick is short for Richard, but we'll get to that. Francis Richard Scobie would be around 75 years old if he were alive today. Now this man, Richard or Dick Scobie, is alive today, and also is currently the age that Francis Scobie would be. Now if you were to show someone these two photos side by side, they would unquestionably believe that it is the same person, right? I mean, just look at the brow, look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at the little gap in the teeth even. Now, Dick Scobie today currently runs an advertising company called Cows and Trees, and this is their logo. Kind of an interesting choice, wouldn't you agree? As of course, many people are making this comparison.
My God. 1 minute 15. There's been an explosion.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Now, entertaining the possibility that this is some kind of conspiracy, I'm sure back then they didn't really think that the internet would be around today where people could do this kind of research.
What are they doing to us?
Telling you for the past 2 weeks now, they're doing military exercises out there, and although it looks like rain, it's not. Showers here. This is not rain, as we've been telling you for the past 2 weeks now. They're doing military.
He admitted that this was a distraction for humanity.
Yeah, good one.
What is that?
That's
lasers, right?
Yeah, I can actually talk about that one, but that is this is really bad, but you know the people that see orbs in the sky?
Yeah.
Go around and fly faster.
UFOs?
UFOs.
Yeah, there's Navy pilots. There's multiple Navy pilots who talk about they got they were flying F-18s. These Navy pilots, and one of them's coming in here in 2 weeks. He's Ryan Graves.
Okay.
He's a Navy pilot flying off the coast of North Carolina, and they got their radar upgraded on their F-18s, and all of a sudden they were seeing these things darting around on their radar.
Okay. Don't tell him what I'm about to say and see if he knows about it.
Okay.
So what we do is we play with our own forces to make sure our trickery will work on the enemy. And those are directed energy weapons of where we do intersecting beams or focus beams into the atmosphere. And notice they're always in the atmosphere to excite the electron orbitals of the oxygen and nitrogen in our atmosphere, and it causes a glow and it causes ionization. That ionization shows up on radar, and it's like a cat laser pointer, and we're making planes chase them.
That's exactly how they describe these things moving, like laser pointers.
Yeah, and so we can do it in 3 space. We can make it look like
in 3-dimensional space.
Yeah, and we can make it look like an entire fleet is about to drop bombs on, let's say, Europe, and then just have them disappear. And they get all their planes up in the air, and we attack them from the other direction, assuming we're attacking Europe.
Who is doing this? The Navy, you said?
somebody, let's just say a group, you know.
And you know this for a fact.
I know for a fact, yeah. So anyway, don't tell your guests.
A group within the U.S. government.
Yeah, okay, we'll leave it at that. Yes.
And is this something that could be seen with the naked eye? Or
yes,
is this something
because
that was only...
it glows. It glows. So it would be seeable, you can see it by the naked eye, and it would leave a radar trace. So it's perfect as a deception. And it involves the voice of God weapons that I was talking about.
Project Bluebeam.
And this got leaked. So it probably won't have the effect, and they probably won't do it. But if you wanted to bring the world together, as President Reagan said in several UN speeches, you would have a common enemy like evil aliens attacking. We forget our differences and we fight against it.
So we wouldn't look at each other as Chinese or Russian or American. We'd look at each other as Earthlings.
As humans. Yeah, as Earthlings. And so that was Project Bluebeam, was to trick the human race into believing either God is coming down, everybody hears the voice of God, the microwave hearing effect, get along, give, whatever the new message is, or it was going to be the evil aliens attacking. And notice how they, all of a sudden, all the governments release all their information on UFOs, and there's a whole division dedicated, and that's just deception.
You think it's all deception?
I think it's all deception.
Really?
Yeah. But, that's my opinion. I've looked at all the videotapes and that people have given me, and I can explain away each one of them.
So apparently, but there's apparently lots of footage and videos and photos that have not been released to the public.
Yeah, I haven't seen those, so I can't get.
And if you think this is all some sort of psyop, what do you think the ultimate purpose of it is?
Distraction against a lot of this human experimentation we're doing.
I don't believe it's a UFO cover-up. I believe that it's a time travel cover-up. My father, we had the documents, we don't have them anymore in the Philadelphia experiment. Einstein worked on it, my father did reveal that. And I just don't believe, I have said at a very important meeting about time travel. They wanted to know what my father knew and such like that. I have stated my issues, that there is no future and there is no past, there's only now. And the way that I think of it is very simple. As a computer, there are icons. You know your birth, you know your mother, and you know your birthdays, you know when your child was born, and each one is a picture within the brain. Well, the way that time works is those icons are sideways. There is no future, there is no past, there's only the memory of those icons. And can you draw from them as a human being? Yes, you can. But there are those that cannot do that. So if the ET would land here, he would have that ability, and it would segregate our society. See, there are other issues besides religion involved. There's the mental parts that are involved. I don't know if that's hard to follow or what, but these are the type of mind games that need to be played to understand why they do not reveal themselves to the masses.
Going back to what time is, different to what we think. Try to break down what you're just saying there. So
Jesus is dying on the cross right now.
So all past lives, future lives are happening
We
now.
are limited beings. All we can see is when we were born and our timeline to when we die. It's insignificant in relation to the trillions and the universe. It's insignificant. There is no start if you look at that. It's like Voyager looking back from the edge of our universe, looking back and seeing one single pixel. Is it important? No. Our whole existence is not important into relation. So why should we measure time? We know we go on after our death. We know we were somewhere before our death. My thinking is that human existence is just a coffee break from eternity. So I know this is deep, but what I'm getting at here is very simple, Kevin. There are other reasons why we don't know. Okay. Some can handle it, some can't.
Okay, so if all time's happening at once, so past and future lives are happening now, right? And present moment is really all we've got, the rest is an illusion, right? Why is that then, when you say that time travel is the real agenda here, not that we've been visited all this other technology out there, why do you still say that time travel is the real agenda here, though?
Well, time travel is the cover-up, because sitting at this table, which I will explain maybe further later, I was tricked into it by the head of the black projects for the Air Force.
I know what happens after 2026. I lived it. I have carried this warning 35 years to reach you. Stay with me. My name is John Titter. I appeared on your internet in November 2000 from the year 2036. Nobody believed me, not at first. But I did not come here to be believed. I came because your world stands at the exact edge I watched from the future. In 2036, we still speak of what broke first. It was not a conflict. It was the slow collapse of trust. But here is what they never told you about my story. I was not sent back to prevent anything. I came for a machine. An IBM 5100, built in 1975, needed in 2036, because some systems never truly perished. Share my warning with everyone who needs to hear this today. They will thank you. I gave you 39 predictions. Most came true, not because I see the future, because history repeats in brutal, exact patterns. And this is the part they try to bury. Right now, CERN is laying the foundation of time displacement technology. I read about their early experiments in a history book. You are closer to my world than anyone has admitted. Comment real or hoax below. Either way, you are thinking about 2026.
But John Titor was very specific and seemed to have very specialized knowledge. First off, a Tipler sinusoid or Tipler cylinder is a theoretical method of time travel outlined in a paper by Frank Tipler in 1974. So we're off to an interesting start. But what about the IBM 5100? Why would anyone with the technology to travel through time need a computer that was, in 2036, about 80 years old? Well, John Titor said the 5100 was needed to debug legacy computer programs in 2036 because Unix has a problem in 2038. Well, that's true. Remember the Y2K scare? The fear was hardware and software that measured the year in 2 digits would freak out when the year changed from 99 to 00. Now, the world didn't end as some people anticipated, but Y2K did cause some sporadic problems. Something similar is going to happen in 2038, and it could be worse. Unix systems measure time in seconds. A Unix timestamp is the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970. So the Unix timestamp 1 minute after that date is 60. The timestamp 1 hour after that date is 3600, and up it goes. As I write this, the Unix timestamp is 166-413-1870, so about 1.6 billion seconds. Without getting too geeky, a 32-bit integer can only go as high as about 2.1 billion. The official last date that a 32-bit system can recognize is Tuesday, January 19th, 2038. After that, things could get interesting.
Several major wars. There's going to be a world war that will change many things for your lifetime. It's going to be between the US, the EU, China, Russia, and the Middle East, more specifically Iran. This war is going to be massive. And there's another one starting right now with this coronavirus. This war will be known as the vaccine war.
We have an update regarding the time traveler that went into my shed and disappeared. And this is gonna blow a lot of people's minds. And if you're still denying that this is real at this point, this is gonna change your mind. So just a quick recap, this guy walks around my backyard, goes to my shed, opens the door, goes inside, and disappears. Called the cops came, they went in the shed twice. He wasn't in there, I looked like an insane guy. The cops are like, what is this guy smoking? And you can see he never came back until the next day right here. Notification on my camera that there's somebody in my backyard, and this guy leaves my shed. And he looks right at the camera too. That guy left my shed. But here's the craziest part. This looks like the same guy, maybe, glasses, whatever. Let's look at the other guy. This was the other guy. He noticeably aged. Looks like the same guy, but aged. So him again, and now him. Same facial features, whiter hair. So I don't even know what to think at this point. Somebody explain this. He literally left the same shed. You saw the camera I put before. There was no movement that whole night. Then the next day, this guy leaves the shed, looks right at the camera like he knows, and he looks noticeably older. I don't know, something's going on. Somebody explain what's going on in my shed. I'll be going there in about a week to give a tour, since a lot of people are asking. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't even know what to think. Did he time travel? Is this a different person? Who is this new guy? Is it the same guy? Let me know what you think, because this blew my mind.